And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Culp. I'm your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is Tuesday. It's August 12th, 2025. Hope you're having a good day. As always, serious talk on everything that affects you. We'll do the markets. We'll do the economy. We'll do your job, your industry. We'll continue to discuss our love, not a love-hate, but a love-not-love relationship with what's going on out of D.C., which will affect us. Remember, affect us. And whatever else comes to mind. And if you don't get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed. We'll also, it will be up on Biz TV, YouTube, and other places, and all that. And if you'd like to email us, all you got to do is be nice. Let's get right into it. What have we been complaining about with this market? As I take a sip of water. Oh, first off, most important thing, I am number 6th in my NFL fantasy draft, just letting you know, out of 10. PPR. We'll do that another day. So we have been saying to you very simply, the broad market sucks. The advanced declines in the market have been going south, while the indices have held up. The small caps have been pretty much dead versus the big caps, not necessarily dead. Areas like transports, recently the financials were getting hit. They weren't blown out, wasn't any bear market or anything, but they were in rough shape. Mention the transports, insurance, economically sensitive stuff. A whole slew of our left screen of down and out and broken down tech and things like that. And we have said to you, and our quote, if nothing changes, and if the broad market worsens, eventually they're going to get the rest. Simple as that. If things worsen, if we continue to get 3-to-1 or 2.5-to-1 advanced decline figures during the day or on the day, eventually they get the rest. If nothing changes. Today, the advanced declines on the New York with 3,400 up, 800 down. On the NASDAQ, 3,200 up, 1,100 down. We're to the nearest 100. It was a great advanced decline day. You know, it started off, we got an inflation report that was just as expected. That's all it was, just as expected. And we never asked why. We didn't see any news except that the China tariffs, there weren't going to be any, there's not going to be anything for another 90 days when we hit another another date where supposedly the president was going to put the screws to them. You remember that, right? Maybe that was it. I don't know. Don't care. The areas of the market we've been complaining about that if they continue to go lower, most woke up today, had a very good day. Are they out of their downtrends? Are they out of their bad markets? Well, let me just report to you a few things. Goldman Sachs breaks out to new yearly highs. BlackRock breaks out to new yearly highs. Morgan Stanley breaks out to new yearly highs. 3 important banks break out to new yearly highs. Now, I can't say that for the rest, but that will be important. The transports, up 453 points today. I think there was like 3%. Boy, we take that. They were getting hit, and hit very hard. The ETFs for financials, which were under pressure, and we used the line next move wins. Well, the move was up off of this last drop. Economically sensitive names, like my favorites, United Rentals was up 5% today on 2% drop in earnings. All the others like symbol EME, FIX, STRL. How about cement stocks, MLM? All strong. Housing related. Continue its slow drift out of a bear market into a bullish phase of unknown price and time. The semiconductors up 169 today without big moves in some of the AI names, though Broadcom was up a couple of percent. And the Russell 2000, only 2,000 stocks. The IWM needs to, I'll tell you what, the high of the last weeks was 226.71, closed at 226.79. The Russell, that's the ETF for the Russell needed to finish above 2283.20. I got it at 2282.05. Actually, it's updating. Maybe it got through. So let me be clear and concise and absolutely freaking to the point. Today was a great day for the market. And it may just put a stamp on further. If the worst areas of the market stop going down, that's good news. If they start going up, that's better news. Simple as that. Tomorrow's another day. But today, muy importante. The NASDAQ 100 continues to ride up the 21-day moving average with only 1 day below, and that was 2 Fridays ago. The S&P continues to ride up the 21-day moving average with 1 day below, and that is 2 Fridays ago. I believe that was August 1st. And I love that the bank's financials had a good day, and I love that the semiconductors were strong. There's your stories. Oh, and the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index, am I right in saying this, went to a new yearly high at the close today. And again, I don't give a crap what the reasons are. I can tell you yield, 10-year yield was up today. Oil was down. Maybe it was the dollar sinking again. I don't know. The president says it's all because of him. Terrific. Terrific. He can take all the credit he wants. I don't care. That's the story. And as we have reported to you before today, the innards of the market have been terrible, especially the NASDAQ types. Maybe today starts that change. As always, we'll be here every day, and we'll let you know. But new highs usually beget new highs. Oh, and by the way, the new yearly high list really expanded today because of this good day. Again, a broad market day. And building/construction also good. Oh, by the way, in the Dow, even United Health was up 9 points today. I'm very agnostic there. It's, what can I tell you? 9 Dow points is about 60. 9 points up is 60 Dow points. The big story was Goldman Sachs today finishing up 24. 6 times 2 is 12, 140. That's about 155, 160 Dow points on one name, Goldman Sachs. American Express up 7, that'll be 45 Dow points. Boeing almost up 7, that's 45 Dow points. Home Depot up 8, that's about 50 some odd Dow points. And by the way, when we talk Home Depot, that's 2%. We'll take it. Microsoft up 7, that's about 45 Dow points. What more can I tell you? It was a very good day. There were other blow-ups because of earnings, but we're getting out of earnings seasons. I can tell you much less earnings this week. as we came off of last week. And we'll see what the world brings us. But I'm going to repeat, and I don't want to shrug it off, and I don't want to minimize. Today was a really good day. And it potentially sets up a lot of stocks going forward. And as I said, you had a big increase in the new yearly high list today. Up next, more on the markets. Movers of the day, news of the day. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. You know, I'm going through my scans, and I gotta tell you, frothing a little bit here. Some really good setups for higher prices off of recent strong reaction to earnings and continuation. The market is expensive. Big dose of bullishness still out there. Doesn't matter to me. I watch price, and price really spoke up today. Again, nothing's ever 100%, but we love 3-to-1 advanced declines on the NASDAQ, and boy, oh boy, how about more than 4-to-1 on the NYSE, and how about almost 3% on the Russell 2000, 2% in the mid-cap 400. Yay! It's what we've been wanting to see. I repeat, though, tomorrow's another day, and when you're dancing on a little needle, anything's possible tomorrow, but that was a real good day. I know you've been hearing August and September is supposed to be really bad. We don't pay attention to that. We know about seasonality. We don't pay attention to it. If the market starts cracking, we'll remember it because it's in the file manager, our brain, but we're just paying attention to price. Everything else is noise. Everything else we don't care about. And we have been receiving, just so you know, as I've told you, on X, we have our ability, I don't know if you know this, you can follow somebody and everything gets pushed to you. So in other words, if there's a good technical analyst out there, and I follow them, it'll get pushed to me, everything they're putting out on X. And we also follow some what we call perma-bears. We don't mind that. We don't give them much weight. But they're people that no matter what, think the world is ending because of something. You know what I'm talking about, right? There's a guy out there that's been doing books for 30 years and lying about the timing of the books, about recessions and depressions and crashes and fabulous decades. I can't tell you how wrong he's been. Anyway, calling for a crash, but been calling for a crash for a good 18 months. There's another one. There's a few. Again, we're not paying any attention. We think ultimately the debt and deficits is going to, amongst a few other things, but it ain't here yet. And today was a good day. Not going to minimize it. Can't. Especially with the new yearly high list really perking up today. And I want to repeat again, I don't care why. Does not matter to me. And I always get the question, well, transport's getting hit hard. All of a sudden, boom, up to the upside. So we not going into recession? Remember what we've told you. There's no recessions unless the market really goes into a big correction, if not more. Market is always flushed out real bad economic trouble. Always. Now, we're going to watch the small and mid caps to see if they can go topside. If they can, that's a lot more stocks working. Simple as that. That would be a lot more stocks working. We'll let you know tomorrow. By the way, the Dow has not broken out. There's still about 700 points, but I got to tell you, it could be next. And remember, the Dow is still working off of United Health, which is still down like 2,000 Dow points since the highs. The Dow would be in record highs if not for United Health. Oh, by the way, we do know everything counts. But things are different for United Health now because it's no longer a $600 stock. Back then, 1% was $6. Now, 1% is only $2.60. So things change a little bit. And back on the banks, I can't tell you how muy importante that is. Very important. And back on the semis, muy importante. Notice my Spanish. I will promise I've been procrastinating learning Italian and Spanish. I took 6 years of Spanish and I don't remember much. Sorry. That's on me. Now, there's some other crap going on. I just want to give you the unbiased. Unbiased. You see, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, whether left or right, the lefties will defend the left no matter what. The righties will defend the right no matter what. The lefties will blast the right no matter what. The righties will blast the left no matter what. Well, we can't stand any of them, so we call balls and strikes. Whoever does good gets the compliments. Whoever does wrong gets smacked. And I want to bring up something that is of import because there's a lot of BS going on about the tariffs, something we have covered since day one. We warned you how bad they were going to be if they did it. Little did we know that they were going to do this Liberation Day back in April, which kicked the market. The market dropped 10% in 2 days. And now the market's back. And all the apologists for the president are out saying, told you so. All the economists were wrong that said we're going to have big inflation and recessions and trouble. What the apologists for Trump don't tell you is what we tell you. If he did not pause, if he did not change his stance, if he kept 145% on China, 100 on Vietnam, well, you saw what happened for those 2 days. On top of that, commerce was stopping. I read to you stories about car companies just stopped delivering. How Amazon stopped delivering certain things. We give them the credit for changing their mind because the market was crashing. The economy was slowing. We give them that credit, and part of leadership is when you're wrong, you change. Of course, they didn't admit they were wrong. They said, well, you're always blah, 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 blah. And of course, they know the timeline of life. You forget about what happened months ago. All is well. Why are we bringing this up one more time? I'll explain up next. It's called human nature. That's up next on Investor's Edge. So, as I said, the pundits on the right, the apologists on the right, the kiss butts on the right of the president are out in droves now telling you everyone was wrong. Told you so. Everyone's wrong. Tariffs haven't hurt anything. Everything's good. Inflation's down, didn't cause inflation. Didn't do this, didn't do that, didn't do this, but they don't tell you. That's because they got rid of the tariffs. Wait a minute, they didn't get rid of the tariffs, Gary. Oh, really? Gary, didn't we hear that most countries have 10 to 15% tariffs? Yeah. Doesn't China still have 30%? Yeah. What have we told you about 10%? It's a fly on an elephant's arse. What have we told you about 10%? They get cheated on, worked out, or negotiated. They're minuscule, especially for the big companies. What did we tell you about China and 30%? He exempted everything. They don't tell you that. We do. Go look up exemptions. You know, he just put a 50% on Brazil, right? And he exempted the 3 most important imports to here from Brazil. So I just want to make sure you know you're being snowed, you're being conned by what we call the tank of Trump. That's their job. We don't begrudge them. But we want to make sure you know we're going to stay on top of it. And here's why. As we said, human nature. Trump was out today saying, told you, tariffs are great. They're fabulous for this country. It's bringing hundreds of billions of dollars into the country. Well, as usual, he's lying. He's a good liar. And by the way, we don't hold that against him because look what Biden did. Look what the rest of them did. They're all full of crap in D.C. The money isn't coming in from other places. Apple just paid $1.9 billion. Why do you think Tim Cook ran to the White House on bended knee? Please, Mr. President. He just got exempt everything. Oh, don't worry. We'll spend $600 billion now, knowing that the president's gone in 3.5 years. Human nature. President's taken victory laps now that tariffs are great. I saw somebody today say they're worried that the tariffs may go away because of judges. Really? You're worried about higher taxes going away because of judges? So what am I worried about? Human nature. If the president really believes tariffs are so freaking fabulous, what's to keep him from going back to 100%? 145%? Because if he does, all hell's going to break loose. Mark my words. All hell was breaking loose in April. We'll keep watch. But right now, the tariffs have been minimized. Most have gone away. A few still there. But it is exemption city. They just exempted Taiwan Semiconductor. Because they're going to... Oh, my favorite line from the president on this is, if you promise to build in the future, we'll exempt you. Which takes me to the next part of the equation. I don't like a president of the United States shaking down companies. You do this and I'll do that with tax policy. I think it's nauseating. All you on the right, if Biden did that, you'd be having crap fits. The chips from China, you're paying us 15% or else. It's ridiculous. This worries me longer term. We'll see how it plays out. As we said, it's somewhat dictatorial, using tax policy from the White House when tax policy is supposed to come from the House, Senate, then the White House. We'll see. So that's the story on tariffs. My love-hate relationship turns to love. And why does crime have something to do with markets? Well, go look at businesses in Oakland right now and some other cities. So the president wants to really get tough on Washington, D.C. And just so you know, the reporters are reporting fake numbers. They're giving out numbers that things got better in D.C., but they don't give out numbers including juveniles. And there's a ton of juvenile crime, including a lot of carjacking, where, by the way, Washington, D.C. had to put out flyers on how to protect yourself from carjackings. I think the president is fine doing this. Why would anybody argue? Why would anybody be upset about having more police or the National Guard in a city that's having real problems with crime? Oh, that's right, because it's the other side of the aisle. I watched on MSNBC. By the way, I've been putting it on lately because I got to see what they have to say. And by the way, I just want to let you know they think you're racist. So they had a guy on there saying, I had to hold my temper. He was seething over Trump's crackdown on crime. Imagine. He's a Princeton University professor. His name's Eddie Glaude. He was trying to hold his temper while covering this. Really? And he's saying it's racist and it hurts blacks and stuff like that. And this is a black gentleman. And I'm thinking to myself, do you know where the most crime-ridden areas are? The black communities. And if the president's going to go in and try to do everything possible to knock out crime in those communities, yet you have a black man on MSNBC saying he's seething. And he's going to try and hold his temper because the president wants to fight crime. And the Democrats want to know why they lost the election to Donald Trump. The guy who kept saying he won the election in 2020? It's because the left is nuts. The lowest hanging fruit is to protect citizens from crime and bad people. And the president's out there trying to do that. Oh, it's heavy-handed. Good! You know how you solve crime or stop crime? Never 100%. You make sure the people who are thinking about doing the crime pay a penalty. You know, there's videos online of juveniles who murdered people laughing in court because they think they're going to go to some juvenile jail. The good news is now judges saying, screw you, you're now an adult, and you're going away for life. Imagine if these 16-year-old carjackers know, instead of not even being indicted, you're going to be charged as an adult. And your bond's going to be $250,000, and if you don't come up with it, you're going to be in jail, and then we're going to treat you as an adult, and if you are found guilty, you're gone for 10 to 15. What do you think happens? Well, I don't know, but maybe somebody's going to think twice. So while I kind of sort of ripped the president on one thing, I am applauding him on another. The love-hate relationship. Oh, and by the way, also dictatorial is he just put in somebody. Donald Trump's going to be running the Bureau of Labor Statistics, by the way. He put in somebody I love to run it, E.J. Antonio, I've been on TV with. I love the guy. But you know what's going to happen, right? You know what's going to happen. They're already talking about not doing monthly jobs reports anymore. You do know if last month that there was a creation of 250,000 jobs, this wouldn't happen. That's the other part of Trump that nauseates me. We'll keep our fingers crossed. We're rooting for him. The market's another new high today. So, hey, as my father always said, it's all about under his watch. Fine and dandy with us. Hey, up next. This, that, and the other thing. Oh, I got a few more areas of the market to discuss. This is the one only Investor's Edge. Da-da-da. Before I go back to the market, let me defend the position one more time on something important. The New York Times, they're just full of crap. They're disgusting. Just so you know what some of this media do is they will come up with a headline and just try to fit into their headline that they put in. Listen to this bull crap. You ready? This is a headline. Trump promised a golden age, then a Montana lumber plant closed down. Trump promised a golden age, then a Montana lumber plant closed down. Last I looked, in the world of capitalism, in the world that we live in, you get stores shut, plants closed down. Do you ever think under Biden they would have put something like, Biden promised strong economy, then a Montana lumber plant closed down? No. All they did was they came up with an article that a Montana lumber plant closed down and then put Trump in there as the problem. So we just want you to remember these things. They don't care about you. Their job is to make you mad and piss you off at somebody so you don't elect that side again. Just remember that. This lumber plant shutting down had nothing to do with President Trump at all. But that was the headline. Just want to let you know. Muy importante. Remember here, when we take on Trump, it's factual. When we compliment him, it's factual. I'd like to say when we compliment the left, but there is not one thing I can compliment them about over the last bunch of years. Unforgivable what Biden did with the border and the left enabling him. Unforgivable him raising the size and scope of government. Massive debt and deficits, doubling it up. Unforgivable handing out billions of dollars to his friends and donors in the last few weeks who created fake climate companies, NGOs, and got the money, and their grants never having to be paid back, so they're lining their freaking pockets. Unforgivable. We'll do the same with Trump if he does unforgivable things. And boy, the left goes after him every day. Back on markets. Oh, by the way, my wife and son are going to Japan. My son was going. I said to my wife, go with them. So they're going. And I forgot how good I knew Tokyo and Japan. I've been there. Love it there. I can't go. I got to take care of the dad. If you ever been to, you got to go. What a great country. Fabulous country. Loved it there. All right, back on markets. Number one. If I had a reach, I would say the market's looking at the Fed cutting rates. I don't know why that would juice, but people tell me there's a rhyme and a reason. Okay, fine. Should help small caps. That's what they tell me. Did it start today again? Well, it was a damn good day. Should help other areas, the economically sensitive and stuff. Well, those are transports and all those other things. Well, they've been getting hit hard. All of a sudden, they woke up today, and boy, they woke up big. Some good 2-3% moves. United Rentals, as we said, 5%. They tell me also because of the Fed's going to lower rates and this and that look at these other areas. Well, the banks. Banks got hit hard 2 Fridays ago. Sat around for a few days. There was a day it looked like they were going to tumble again. Nope, they gapped them up today. Strong day, and some of the stronger names moving to new high ground, as mentioned earlier. All good things. I have to tell you also, you ready for this? The airlines have been acting terrible. Go look at the symbol JETS. Jets, jets, jets. Big move today of 7% in the airlines. Economically sensitive. Hotels. The hotels have been very weak. Hilton pulled back from 280 to 260 quickly. Boom, up 3% today. Marriott, weaker than Hilton. Well, that's weak. Forget the Marriott. Anyway, hotels perked up today. Royal Caribbean, the strongest cruise line, down to the 50-day. That was up 3% today. Retail, Burlington up 8. Boot Barn up 7 today. Dick's Sporting Goods up 10 today. Restoration Hardware, guess what that is? Housing related, up 9% today. It's still down 50% from January, though, but those housing and housing related continue what we call potentially going from stage 1 to stage 2 in Stan Weinstein parlance. Notice the big word. Stage 1 is the bottoming, stage 2 is the start of the ascending. And then you go 2A, 2B, depending on where you are. So that's going on also. And they even, well, let's see, they did the commodity space today too. On the dollar sinking again. Pretty good. So very good day. Again, I don't want to minimize. It was a very good day today. And when I look right in front of me and see that the new yearly high list picked up in very strong fashion, I think that says a bunch. Though I think those are the best numbers I have seen in months. So let me repeat again, tomorrow's another day. Anything is possible. But I think there's a chance here. I want to say this the best way without trying to get too excited or the other way. I think there's a good chance today. Today was some liftoff of the areas that were lagging badly. How's that? Okay. You all have a great evening. Hey, thanks for your emails when I've been telling you about my father. Drive carefully. When you get home, do like I do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise. Stay well, be well. Let's hope the market keeps doing what it's doing. Have a good one, everybody. Good night.